Welcome back, Pokemon fans. My name is Angel of the Night 091, and today we are getting into battle number 13 in Series 1 Ranked Singles. Now, that is a mouthful to say. So, we are going to lead off here with a team I think you guys are going to be very familiar with. We've used it in a previous upload. We are going to go in with our Mimikyu. Now, with Mimikyu onto the field, of course, with that fairy typing, we are at a disadvantage when it comes to this Breloom. However, I'm going to decide to go in for the Swords Dance anyways because I know that I can take a hit. But one thing you have to remember when you're going up against a Breloom is you have to remember that it has Spore. Yes, every Breloom happens to have a Spore, and I just happen to forget just about that. So here we are, we're now asleep, we've got a Swords Dance up. Not really going to be beneficial to us here as we are now sleeping. However, with this Breloom, we can almost predict that there's going to be some sort of grass-type move, such as Bullet Seed here. Bullet Seed is a great example of one way to take care of the disguise, but as well also do some decent work onto the Mimikyu. Unfortunately for us, this is a move that is going to be able to hit multiple times into a row, and, it kind of leaves us at a huge disadvantage here. Now, if we were capable of waking up, for example, we may be able to actually go in and get a play rough onto this Breloom and hopefully able to knock him out. One thing we have to take into consideration here as well is that it may possibly have like a Focus Sash, or, in some situations they actually use like a Toxic Orb to kind of boost its stats up. As you can see here, it's the Focus Sash, and we get it down into the 1 hit point there. Very lucky for us to actually wake up that turn. Unfortunately, we are going to get knocked out by the Bullet Seed, and we're going to have to bring in another Pokemon into the match. Now, as you can see here, we've got Scizor, we've got Gastrodon. Of course, Gastrodon is the wrong choice, so we're going to go in with our Scizor. Now, Scizor, of course, does have the Bullet Punch, so that is a priority type move that's going to be able to take advantage and just knock out this Breloom. Hopefully, so that way we don't actually get any kind of a Spore. Seeing as how he's down to 1 hit point here, we should be able to knock him out. It's not really a big issue. However, there is always the possibility of our opponent swapping out and going into another Pokemon. At this time, of course, we're just waiting for our opponent here. There's the Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch, of course, able to finish off the Breloom and just take him out of this battle. It's always a possibility our opponent could have used him as fodder later on. However, if there's any kind of entry hazards, that just kind of doesn't really work out very well. So our opponent here is now going to lead in with a Hydreigon. Now, Hydreigon, of course, is the second Pokemon our opponent has, and this is not a very good type matchup there for Scizor. Reason being is a lot of these Hydreigons actually are Terra-Firing this generation, and going in for those Fire Blasts or those Heat Waves. Heat Wave is most common when it comes to Heatran. Not Heatran, sorry, Hydreigon. My apologies, there is no Heatran in this game. So here we go, there is the Terra-Fire with Hydreigon. And of course, that would have done some serious damage off on that Scizor. So, of course, Scizor was not the right play. If we go in with the Gastrodon here, we are the water typing. We should be able to survive a Fire Blast, especially with that boost of the Terra typing. We do have the leftovers there with our Gastrodon, and of course, we're going to regain a little bit of our health every turn. And this is kind of where we can actually use our Muddy Water. Now, Muddy Water is really the only play that we can go for here. If we actually went for like an Earth Power isn't going to be able to connect with that Hydreigon because of the Levitate. Ice Beam also not going to be able to do anything here because, of course, now this Hydreigon is a Fire type. So, of course, Ice versus Fire, Fire is always going to win. So here we go, we're going to go in for the Terra Water, which we have onto our Gastrodon. We're going to lose out of the ground typing. Now that could actually be a benefit, or it could actually leave us at a disadvantage here. Of course, here is the Fire Blast that actually did a little bit more damage. Critical Hit. Critical Hit is definitely a good thing for them because, going up against this Gastrodon, you really don't want to be up against a Terra Water Gastrodon with Muddy Water. So we actually end up knocking out that Hydreigon, and we are down to 1 Pokemon remaining on our opponent's side. we still have Scizor, we still have Gastrodon, of course. We're getting a little bit of health every turn. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, as it's been a little bit of time here since I've actually recorded or played this battle, I don't remember what the next Pokemon is going to be. And it looks like it's going to be an Air Balloon Goldago. Now, of course, with that being said, he's not going to be able to be hit by any kind of ground-type moves as he is on that Air Balloon. He's going to go in for the substitute here while I go for the recover. Probably a great play for them, to be quite honest, because they're going to be able to take any kind of a hit from us and still have their Air Balloon. So, we've gotten our health back up to full, almost full rather. And as you can see, I'm kind of contemplating on what I want to do. I went for Earth Power here, not really thinking about the whole Air Balloon scenario. I don't know if it's maybe something where I misread when that happened or if I got distracted by the substitute. But as you can see here, it doesn't affect our opponents. So the Earth Power is not going to help us out here until we get an actual hit onto that Goldago. Now, we get a little bit of health back, and really and truly, I don't think there's going to be much that this Goldago is going to be able to do, except it is going in for those Nasty Plots. Now, Nasty Plot, of course, is going to be able to raise your special attack sharply, and the Muddy Water here should be able to make contact. Whether or not that's going to be able to take out the sub is going to be a different story. Looks like it was enough to fade it, which is fantastic. However, he still has his Air Balloon. Oh, he popped it! So even though we hit the sub, the Air Balloon popped. I feel like that's kind of odd. But anyways, he's going to go in for the Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is going to paralyze the Gastrodon. Of course, this only works when Gastrodon is Terra-type Water, losing that ground typing. If we had that ground typing, Thunder Wave would not have worked. So we are going to go in for the attack here onto that Goldago. Goldago has to make a decent move here. There is the Make It Rain, and remember guys, he had plus, he ended up doing 2 of the Nasty Plots, which actually would have sharply risen his stats each time. So realistically, he's probably at plus 3, maybe 4. So here we go, we have the ability to go in for another attack here. However, we are not able to outspeed that Goldago. Now Goldago, of course, going in for the Make It Rain, able to take out the Gastrodon, and Gastrodon is now down and out. So we are down both to our last Pokemon. Of course, with Scizor coming onto the field, I do not have a whole lot of options here. As you guys can see, I only had Close Combat and Bullet Punch onto this Scizor. I did have Protect and Swords Dance, but as you can see, Bullet Punch doesn't really do much. Not very effective for our opponent. So at this time, I pretty much only can go in for the Bullet Punch here. The Goldago, of course, is probably trying to decide what to do. Now, we know that it has Nasty Plot, it has Make It Rain, it had the Thunder Wave, and here we go, guys. We end up not seeing the final move, but we get that Bullet Punch, and that is going to be game. So good game, thank you very much for the battle, and we are going to be able to progress in the Singles Ranked Series 1. Take care, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys next time in the next episode. Peace!